Hey guys, going to try to make this a quick one. We'll put this in the shorts. Recently, I had to help give a jump start to my sister, and I found out she didn't have any jumper cables in her car. Um, these are, of course, you've seen everybody's seen these kind of cheap sets of jumper cables you can get. These have even smaller clips on them than they usually have, but they have the really thin gauge metal. Well, these would probably be okay for her car because she has a very small four-cylinder engine. She's got a little bitty Nissan. That burn it. I can't remember what they're called. They're not Sentras. I don't even think they make Sentras anymore. But it's about the smallest car Nissan makes. But she needed a jump recently, and I happened to have some cables, but she didn't have any. And then I was just going through some stuff in the back room, and I found this kit that someone had gave me, and it had stuff in there like it's got like an emergency poncho, some medical things, like emergency bandages, and a set of gloves and all kind of stuff. Well, I kept some of that stuff, but I thought, man, she could really use these set of jumper cables just in a pinch, and it might start her little car up with the size battery it's got and the small engine it's got. But it's so hilarious. Have you ever seen jumper cables where the red and the black, or the positive and the negative, are not even connected together? If you undo these are completely separate. They're like two wires, and one wire's got black on each end and the other one's got red on each end, but they're completely separate from each other. They're not made together at all. And I thought that was funny. And of course, they're thinner gauge. It is solid copper, though. I checked up under, like, if you check up under this little piece of rubber here, you can see where they've got the copper kind of clamped in there. But it's really light gauge compared to, expensive cables. But this has got to be the funniest part of all of it. Take a look at this. I'll leave it on the screen while I'm talking. It shows I would say procedure, but they say procedure. The procedure for connection a grounded positive post system. Okay, I'm like, okay, so overseas they must use, or in the past have used a grounded positive post system instead of grounded negative post system. And then they go as far as to draw it out for you. Well, if you start looking, you notice that, okay, so maybe the top one is how things are done overseas. I've heard that there's some type of 6-volt system that they used to have, and I don't even know if that's used anymore. But, okay, so that's a grounded positive post system. But then if you look at the bottom, it repeats itself. Procedure for connection a grounded positive post system. I'm like, wait a minute, shouldn't that be grounded negative post system? So misprint, okay? But then you look at the picture on the bottom, and okay, if the top's correct for a grounded positive post system, now the drawing and everything looks like how we would do it here for a grounded negative post system, but you notice they've swapped their colors. So not only is the drawing slightly different, but they put the red on the negative terminals, and I'm like, can anything be more confusing than this? And I certainly didn't want to leave that attached to the cables and give it to my sister, who might be trying to do this herself, and she's trying to figure out what to do, and she ended up grounding her battery out or shorting out her computer in her car or something. So this is going straight in the trash, but I will give her the cables to use. And I guess I need to leave a tie in the middle of them so that she doesn't accidentally drop one inside her engine bay while she's thinking that they're connected together. But just thought that was hilarious. I've just never seen a more confusing drawing. Tell me what your thoughts are, and if you've heard of a grounded positive post system in the U.S. I don't think we have those here. Catch you later, guys.